I think we have unintentionally created a culture that places almost all the responsibility for mental well-being on the individual. Mental health doesn't exist in isolation. It exists inside systems, our homes, our workplaces, families, schools, communities, and digital spaces. Every one of these environments teaches our brains something. Recognizing that your environment matters is not about blaming your workplace or your family or society. It's about becoming aware of what is shaping you, because awareness gives you choices. Behind every smile is a story. Sometimes it's hope, sometimes it's healing, sometimes it's a struggle no one else can see. Welcome to another episode of Behind the Smile, where we have honest conversations about mental health, because understanding always comes before healing. My name is Dr. Michelle Nicole, and I am your public mental health doctor. During one of my trips to Uganda, I have to admit, one of the places I was most excited to visit wasn't a famous hotel or a national park. It was the equator. I had spent years reading about it in geography books, but standing there, one foot in the northern hemisphere, the other foot in the southern hemisphere, that felt different. It reminded me that sometimes the things we learned in school suddenly becomes real when we experience them for ourselves. While I was there, one of the guides demonstrated water flowing under different conditions depending on which part it was kept. It flows differently at the equator, northern hemisphere, and southern hemisphere. Whether you have seen that demonstration before or not, it made me stop and think. Not about geography, of course, but about people. Because I realized something. We spend so much of our lives asking, what is wrong with me? Why am I always tired? Why can't I focus? Why am I losing motivation? Why do I feel emotionally exhausted? Why can't I just be stronger? And yet, standing there, I kept thinking about something much simpler: the environment. The environment matters. Sometimes we expect the same outcome while ignoring that the conditions have changed. The truth is, the same person can thrive in one environment and struggle in another. Do you agree with me? And that's exactly what I want us to explore today. Because maybe, just maybe, sometimes it's not you. It's the environment you have been trying to survive in. I think we have unintentionally created a culture that places almost all the responsibility for mental well-being on the individual. We are told, read more books, meditate, wake up earlier, think positively, practice gratitude, develop resilience. None of those are bad. I recommend many of them myself. But here is my question. What if we are asking people to swim harder without asking why they are swimming against the current? Now, imagine giving someone the best running shoes in the world, then asking them to run through deep mud. If they struggle, would you conclude they are weak? Of course not. You would recognize that the environment is making success much harder. Mental health works the same way. Think about your average day. Your phone starts vibrating before you have even gotten out of bed. Emails, WhatsApp, social media, traffic, deadlines, financial stress, constant noise, no real breaks, then we wonder why our brains feel overwhelmed. We have normalized living in environments that keep our nervous systems on high alert. Then we blame ourselves for feeling exhausted. I don't think the first question should always be, how can I become mentally stronger? I think another question deserves equal attention. What about my environment requires me to be this strong every day? That question changes everything because it moves us away from self-blame towards understanding. One of the biggest lessons I've learned working in mental health is this. Mental health doesn't exist in isolation. It exists inside systems, our homes, our workplaces, families, schools, communities, and digital spaces. Every one of these environments teaches our brains something. Some teach safety, others teach constant vigilance. Some teach belonging, others teach loneliness. Some teach recovery, others teach busyness. Without realizing it, our environments are constantly shaping our habits. They influence how we sleep, how we eat, how we think, who we spend time with, whether we ask for help, whether we rest, whether we believe we are enough. That is why I describe environment as one of the pillars of personal mental health system. Notice, I didn't say one of the pillars of happiness or motivation, because motivation comes and goes. Systems remain. If your environment makes healthy choices difficult every single day, eventually, even highly motivated people become exhausted. This isn't only true for individuals, it's also true for organizations. A workplace can have an employee assistance program and still create an environment where employees are afraid to speak honestly. A school can talk about well-being while rewarding perfectionism. A family can say they care while making vulnerability unsafe. Environment always communicates, even when nobody says a word. So, instead of asking only, how do I motivate myself? Maybe we should start asking, what is my environment teaching me every day? Now, here is the important part. Recognizing that your environment matters is not about blaming your workplace or your family or society. It's about becoming aware of what is shaping you, because awareness gives you choices. Maybe you can't leave your job tomorrow, but perhaps you can create 1 hour each day without notifications. Maybe you can't control everyone around you, but you can become more intentional about who gets regular access to your emotional energy. Maybe you can't eliminate stress, but you can create moments of recovery. You can decide to go for a walk, listen to music, go for a prayer, journaling, time in nature, having meaningful conversation. These aren't random self-care activities. They are ways of intentionally shaping your environment. Because mental well-being doesn't happen by accident. It grows in environments that allow it to grow. So, today I want to leave you with one question. Not what is wrong with me, but what is one thing in my environment I can change this week that will make it easier to protect my mental health? It doesn't have to be a big change. Small changes, repeated consistently, become powerful systems. And systems change lives. If today's conversation helped you see mental health from a different perspective, I would love for you to share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes people don't need another reminder to be stronger. They need permission to stop blaming themselves and start paying attention to the environment they are trying to survive in. If you're an individual looking to build your own personal mental health system, or an organization seeking to create healthier environments where people can thrive, I would love to support you through that journey. Remember, behind every smile is a story. Let's create spaces where those stories can be heard. Until next time, take care of yourself and take care of the environment that is quietly shaping your well-being.